Welcome to Preservation Oaks, the podcast where we invite you to step away from the bustle of everyday life. Settle in and relax, and take a moment to leave the familiar behind as we explore the hidden gems of America that preserve our cultural past. We call them our Preservation Oaks, and with each episode, we'll journey to a different corner of the country, where we'll discover the unique histories, landscapes, and communities that make up our nation. We'll visit with local museums, historical, and genealogical societies. They are the stewards of these stories. They preserve the legacy of each place like precious pieces of fabric in a quilt that binds the freedom-loving, hard-working people in this country together. So, slow down, grab a beverage, open your mind, and let us take you on a tour of the fascinating histories and heartfelt traditions that lie just beyond the horizon. This is Preservation Oaks, where every story is a stitch in the fabric of our shared culture. Now, join our host as he uncovers another thread in the tapestry of America's heritage and what it takes to preserve it.
Hello friends, and welcome back to another special edition of Preservation Oaks, the podcast where we celebrate the people, places, and artifacts that safeguard our shared history. I'm Alex Robinson, coming to you from beautiful Salt Lake City, and today we're stepping away from our usual guest-focused episodes to explore a fascinating theme that touches nearly every family. The treasures we sometimes find in the most unexpected places, our attics, basements, closets, barns, and yes, even inside the walls of old homes. Quick shout out to our listeners, and a big welcome if you're new here. Your support keeps this podcast rolling, and together we're lifting up the everyday heroes who keep history from fading away. So thanks for being part of the crew. This episode is titled Artifacts in Attics, Real Finds That Changed Family Histories. We're going to take a deep dive into how overlooked items can unlock mysteries, confirm family legends, or even rewrite the stories we thought we knew about our ancestors. So, if you've ever unwrapped a yellowed letter, dusted off an old military medal, or cracked open a trunk that smelled of cedar and time itself, then you know exactly the feeling we're talking about. That sudden, undeniable pull of the past. This is the Preservation Oaks podcast, episode 115. Now, let's get into it.
Segment 1. The Value of Forgotten Items.
Let's delve deeper into the hidden value of forgotten items, those relics of the past that often go unnoticed in the corners of our lives. These items, tucked away in attics, barns, and dusty corners, are not just remnants of a bygone era. They are time capsules that hold the key to understanding our collective history and personal identities. Genealogists and historians often emphasize that history isn't confined to official archives. Instead, it lives in the personal mementos and everyday objects that families have cherished and preserved over generations. These items, though seemingly ordinary, are invaluable as primary sources of historical information. A diary, for instance, is more than just a collection of written words. It is a window into the thoughts, emotions, and experiences of a person from a different time. Each entry is a snapshot of a life, capturing the essence of an era in a way that textbooks and historical accounts often cannot. Consider a quilt, for example. At first glance, it may appear to be nothing more than a piece of fabric, a comfort item passed down through generations. However, a quilt is a rich tapestry of cultural and personal history. The patterns stitched into it are not just aesthetic choices, they are a coded language that tells a story. Each stitch, Each color and each pattern can reveal the quilter's life experiences, her community, and sometimes even hidden messages or symbols that have been passed down through the generations. By examining these quilts, we can uncover the social, economic, and cultural contexts of the time, as well as the personal narratives of the individuals who created them. The value of forgotten items extends beyond their historical significance. They also play a crucial role in preserving and validating oral traditions. In many families, stories are passed down from one generation to the next, often embellished and altered over time. A forgotten item, such as a letter or a photograph, can provide tangible evidence to support or refute these oral histories. For example, a photograph might reveal the existence of a relative previously unknown, or a letter could provide insight into a family conflict that has been whispered about for decades. These discoveries can lead to a deeper understanding of family dynamics and can even help to correct errors in a family tree, providing a more accurate and nuanced view of one's ancestry. Forgotten items can serve as powerful tools for reconnecting families that have been separated by distance, time, or circumstance. In an increasingly globalized world, it is not uncommon for families to become dispersed across continents, with branches of the family tree growing in isolation from one another. A forgotten item, such as a diary or a collection of letters, can bridge these gaps, offering a tangible link to shared history and identity. It can spark conversations, ignite curiosity, and inspire family members to reach out to one another, fostering a sense of unity and belonging that transcends geographical boundaries. The value of forgotten items lies in their ability to enrich our understanding of the past, validate our family histories, and reconnect us with our roots. They are the unsung heroes of history, offering insights and revelations that are often overlooked. So, the next time you find yourself in an attic or a barn, take a moment to appreciate the potential significance of the items around you. You might just uncover a piece of history that has been waiting to be discovered, a story that has been longing to be told. And if you eventually donate the items you find to your local historical or genealogical society, they will be preserved and conserved for future generations to study and learn from. And that, friends, is why we encourage everyone to take another look at what may already be in your home.
Segment 2. True Stories of Attic Discoveries.
Now, let's bring this idea to life with some incredible real-world examples. These aren't legends or friend of a friend stories. These are documented discoveries that forever changed the families and sometimes even the communities who found them. These discoveries added chapters of learning and historical knowledge to what we know of the past, and indeed how we portray it to the generations to come. Fascinating!
Civil War diary found in Ohio attic.
In Sandusky, Ohio, a family stumbled upon a handwritten Civil War diary hidden in their attic. The author? Their own ancestor, a Union soldier whose service had been forgotten. Inside were descriptions of battles, the harsh realities of camp life, and deeply personal reflections on slavery and freedom. Imagine being that family, opening a diary and suddenly hearing the voice of an ancestor from 150 years ago. This happened in 2018, according to the Smithsonian Magazine. The family donated it to the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Library and Museum, where it continues to educate and inspire. I don't know about you, but I get chills thinking about holding a book where the ink was still wet as cannons fired in the distance.
World War II love letters discovered in a wall.
In South Carolina, contractors renovating an old house discovered a bundle of World War II love letters stuffed inside the walls. The letters told the story of an American GI and his English sweetheart. For decades, the family never knew about this chapter of their ancestors' life. The letters didn't just remain private, they became part of a traveling exhibit on wartime communication, allowing thousands to glimpse the personal cost and human heart of war. This story is a real story, brought to light by NBC News in 2020. Sometimes, history hides not in the attic, but in the very walls around us, whispering to be found.
A photo album that uncovered a Holocaust escape.
In 2016, the New York Times published a story about a family in Brooklyn where a dusty old wardrobe revealed a photo album filled with images of a Jewish family who escaped Nazi Germany. The photos were verified by Yad Vashem, Israel's Holocaust memorial, and eventually led to the rediscovery of surviving relatives in Israel who had been thought lost forever. Here was proof, faces and places frozen in time that connected generations across continents.
Underground Railroad documents in Cincinnati.
Renovations at a church in Cincinnati, Ohio, revealed ledgers and coded notes detailing Underground Railroad activity. In 2019, the Cincinnati Enquirer newspaper informed their audience about the story. Historians authenticated the records, adding new names and locations to the historical record. Think of the impact on families today, who may now learn where their ancestors found refuge, and communities can honor the bravery of those who resisted slavery in tangible ways.
Welcome to the Genealogy Lab, where curiosity meets discovery. Here's professional genealogist Diana Chrisman-Smith, a seasoned explorer of family histories, uncovering the evidence that connects us across generations. Diana opens the lab doors, and inside her lab, she'll share quick tips, cool discoveries, and smart tools to help you map out your roots like a pro. So, grab your notebooks. It's time to enhance your research with this segment of the Genealogy Lab.
If you've been here before, welcome back to the Genealogy Lab. If this is your first visit, pull up a chair and join me for a bit of curiosity and discovery. I talked about a research plan previously, but that's just part of what you need to keep on track. As you start to follow your research plan to answer a question, you need to add your research log to it, detailing how you followed that plan. You can use a spreadsheet, a word processing document, a notebook for handwritten information, or a computer program such as Evernote, Obsidian, Airtable, or Notion. I'm most comfortable with spreadsheets or documents, so I use Excel or Word for most projects. I also transcribe documents and keep notes in my genealogy program, from which I can print reports. As with most things I'll talk about here in the lab, you do you and work the way that makes sense to you. If you aren't comfortable with it, you are not likely to follow your own procedures consistently, and that's the key to everything. Your research log should include the information that was in your plan, starting with the question, basic background information, or what you already know, your hypothesis regarding the answer to the question, and sources to be consulted. In addition, for each source, you need to add the following bits of information. First, where did you look? That is, in what repository or on what website did you find it? Second, I suggest that you should always read the introduction or explanation of how to use the source and what it includes. Any important notes from this information should be included in your log. Third, the citation for the source. It's a lot easier to record the citation information now than to go back and try to find it again later. It's also a lot less annoying than to retrace your steps just for the citation when you've already been there. I also find that I forget to do it if I get excited by a find or disappointed by nothing. Doing it first will avoid that annoyance or frustration. Fourth, what you searched for, specifically. In other words, the scope of your search. Did you look at the index or just your person? Or did you look for everyone with that surname? Or did you look at a list of surnames? Or did you read an entire chapter which seemed relevant? And if so, which one? Did you skim the entire document or book? Later, you may find that this source should or could have relevant information about another person. Was he or she included in your initial search? If so, you don't want to do it again. Did you make a copy? Did you create a transcription, an abstract, or a translation? Note that you should attach any or all of these to your log. Sixth, what did you find, even if it was nothing? Sometimes negative searches are important clues. Seventh, note hints and next steps suggested by this source to add to your research plan for this question or the next. Capture those hints at the time they occurred to you. As you continue your research, use your research log. File it somewhere you can find it. Computer document can be filed with your other digital documents using the same logical plan and take up less space than a physical document. When you're working on a related question, the information in your research log can help you get back up to speed quickly. When you're confident you have answered the question, add a research summary, sometimes called a proof summary or proof statement, to your research plan and log, stating your resolution and how you came to that conclusion. You may want to add this statement to your online tree for others, or use it when you write your book or share with cousins. But writing it at the time you have done the research is much easier than having to go back and review your work, refresh your memory, and then write your proof statement. Taking these steps as you're doing your research will give you the summary and documentation you need while keeping you on track. It's worth the time. If you need assistance developing a research log, you might start with one of the many templates available online. Just Google Genealogical Research Log Template for numerous sites. Also, the Family Search Research Wiki is always a good place to start. There's a section there with a sample template, suggestions, and a filled-in template to show you how it works. And don't forget about Cindy's list. Look under charts and forms for research plans, logs, and more. Printable templates, as well as Airtable and other digital templates. That's it for today. Join me for the next Genealogy Lab as we explore why citing sources correctly matters. And remember to use your research log every time, for every source, for every fact. Stay curious. This is Diana Chrisman Smith, and I'll see you next time from my Genealogy Lab.
You've been inside the Genealogy Lab with Diana Chrisman Smith, where every clue, every record, and every story brings us one step closer to knowing who we are. Stay curious and stay tuned for more from Preservation Oaks.
A family Bible in Alabama.
Finally, in Alabama, a family Bible that had been handed down for generations revealed handwritten records of enslaved people connected to a plantation. This story was reported by Alabama Public Radio in 2022. Scholars and descendants used these names to reconstruct genealogies that had been broken by slavery. For those descendants, finding those names meant finally reclaiming identities and honoring the lives of those who endured. My friends, discoveries like this remind us, sometimes the past comes alive, not to entertain us, but to heal us.
Segment 3. What to look for in your own home.
Now, I know what some of you are wondering. What about me? What should I look for in my own home? Let's make this simple, a kind of treasure hunter's checklist. Letters and diaries, especially those written during war, migration, or hardship. Old photographs. Names on the back are golden clues. Legal documents. deeds, marriage certificates, military discharges, textiles, quilts, uniforms, handmade clothing, books, especially family Bibles with handwritten notes, tools and instruments, engraved or stamped items. Next time you're helping a parent or grandparent clean out a closet, don't just bag things for a local charity or the trash bin. Pause. Ask questions. That old apron might have been stitched during the Great Depression. That set of tools may have built a first family home. The local historical or genealogical society would love to evaluate your artifacts and bring the significant ones into their collection, where they will be preserved and curated for generations to come. Children and adults will benefit from seeing and learning about your donation.
Segment 4. Preserving and interpreting your finds.
Finding an item is indeed just the beginning of an exciting journey. The real work and joy comes in preserving it, ensuring that its story and significance are not lost to time. This process can be both rewarding and educational, allowing you to engage with history in a hands-on way. The first step is to create a record of your discovery. Begin by photographing the item from multiple angles, ensuring that you capture any unique features, markings, or signs of wear. These photographs will serve as a visual reference and can be shared with others who might be interested in the item. Additionally, write down the details of where and how you found it. Include information about the location, the conditions in which it was stored, and any surrounding items that might provide context. This documentation will be invaluable for future research and for sharing the story of your discovery. Research it. Once you have documented the item, the next step is to delve into its history. Start by comparing it with online databases and archives. Websites dedicated to genealogy, history, and cultural heritage can provide a wealth of information. Look for similar items, historical events, or family connections that might shed light on the origin and significance of your find. Don't forget to visit your local library, genealogical, or historical society, as they often have resources and expertise that can help you piece together the puzzle. Engaging with local institutions can also offer new perspectives and insights. Preserve it. If you're going to keep it yourself and not donate it to your local historical or genealogical society, then please know that proper preservation is crucial to ensure that the item remains in good condition for future generations. Use acid-free storage materials such as boxes, envelopes, and tissue paper to protect the item from deterioration. Control the temperature and humidity of the storage environment to prevent mold, mildew, and other forms of damage. Keep the item away from direct sunlight and fluorescent lights, as prolonged exposure can cause fading and discoloration. If the item is particularly fragile, consider consulting a professional conservator for advice on specialized preservation techniques. Sharing your discovery with others can have a profound impact. Begin by sharing the item and its story with your family. You might uncover new family connections or spark conversations about shared history. If the item has significant historical value, consider reaching out to a genealogical society, museum, or historical society. These institutions often have the resources and expertise to properly display, conserve, and preserve the item, ensuring that it is accessible to a wider audience. Sharing your discovery can also inspire others to explore their own family histories and contribute to the collective understanding of the past. As you embark on this journey of discovery and preservation, remember that your efforts can have a ripple effect far beyond your immediate circle. By sharing your findings, you might solve someone else's genealogical puzzle or provide a missing piece to a historical narrative. Your discovery could lead to new connections, spark further research, and contribute to a richer understanding of our shared heritage. So, don't hesitate to share your artifacts, your stories, and encourage others to do the same. Together, we can unravel the threads of history and preserve the stories that make us who we are.
Segment 5. Why does this matter?
You know, I often think about the basement, or the attic, not just as storage space, but as a metaphor. It's where we put things we want to preserve, that go out of style, that are memories, or that we seldom use in our daily lives. The attic becomes a repository of our past, a place where memories and experiences are tucked away, often forgotten and neglected. And yet, in those forgotten corners lie the very threads of our identity, the pieces that, when woven together, create the tapestry of who we are. When we venture into our personal storage spaces, we are not just opening a physical space, we are opening a portal to our past. Each box, each trunk, each dusty corner holds stories waiting to be told. These stories are not just about the objects themselves, but about the people who once cherished them, the lives they led, and the emotions they experienced. By exploring these forgotten items, we're engaging with our own history, peeling back the layers of time to reveal the essence of our being. The act of bringing these items into the light is a profound one. It is a journey of self-discovery, a quest to understand the roots of our identity. Each object we uncover is a clue, a piece of a puzzle that, when placed correctly, reveals a clearer picture of ourselves. A faded photograph might remind us of a loved one we've lost. A letter could resurrect feelings of a past relationship, and a worn-out toy might evoke childhood memories that shape our present. These items are not just inanimate objects, they are vessels of emotion, carriers of stories that define us. Moreover, the process of rediscovering these items is transformative. It helps us recall our past, to acknowledge the experiences that have shaped us, both good and bad. By doing so, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our motivations, and our aspirations. We begin to see the connections between our past and our present, realizing that the threads of our identity are not isolated incidents, but a continuous narrative where God has protected and led us to where we are today. In bringing these forgotten items into the light, we are not just finding objects, we're finding ourselves. We're reclaiming the stories that have been buried, the emotions that have been suppressed, and the truths that have been overlooked. This journey is a reminder that our uniqueness is not static. It is graceful, evolving, and deeply intertwined with the stories and objects that surround us. By embracing this process, we not only honor our past, but also enrich our present and pave the way for a future that is more faithful to the truth of history.
Segment 6. Bring it on home.
As we wrap up this special edition of Preservation Oaks, remember this. History is not distant, nor is it preserved only within institutions. It lives much closer to home, quietly waiting in the forgotten spaces where memories rest. It may be in the attic, that often neglected sanctuary, where time seems to pause. It might be in a shadowed corner of the basement, among boxes long untouched. It could be tucked away in a shed, surrounded by the tools and keepsakes of earlier generations. Or it may rest beneath the bed, inside a box filled with papers, photographs, and letters, carefully saved by someone who understood their meaning, perhaps your grandmother, preserving fragments of her life for the future. The next time you sort through old belongings, pause for a moment. Let the weight of history settle in your hands. These objects carry silent stories of daily life, of hardship and hope, of people who came before us and shaped the world we inherited. Ask yourself, what story might this tell? And just as importantly, could a local museum, genealogical society, or historical organization help preserve it for others to learn from? When you share your discoveries, you become more than a caretaker of keepsakes. You become a steward of history. You help ensure that personal stories are not lost to time, but protected, interpreted, and passed on to future generations. You are not merely observing history. You are participating in it, safeguarding the threads that bind our shared past together. Thank you for being here. If you've discovered artifacts in or around your own home and would like to share your experience, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment or email us at preservationoaks@podbean.com.
Hey, this is Sean Radcliffe. See you all next time on Preservation Oaks. And until then, keep on giving and keep on living the good life.
Microstream Radio is a registered trademark. You can visit at www.microstreamradio.com. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted by Microstream Radio. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, reproduced, copied, or used anywhere without the written permission of Microstream Radio. Preservation Oaks starring Sean Radcliffe originates in Salt Lake City, Utah. Be sure to join us for our next episode on your favorite podcast platform. This is Sonia Maxwell speaking. Preservation Oaks has come to you through the worldwide podcast platform Podbean, and our home is preservationoaks.podbean.com. Hopefully you found today's episode useful, informative, and thought-provoking. If so, please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember that being free means being free to be curious, and that historical and genealogical societies and museums allow us to discover the past, be free to explore, where curiosity opens every door. Thanks to everyone for listening. Stay cozy, curious, and keep exploring the incredible stories that shape our world. Remember to cherish and support the preservation of history in your own communities. The content of this program is provided for educational and informational purposes only. Some material included in this program may be copyrighted by third parties. However, under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act, the doctrine of fair use allows the limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders when used for purposes such as education, criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. These uses are legally permitted even if they might otherwise constitute infringement. If you wish to use copyrighted material from this program for purposes beyond fair use, you must obtain permission from the copyright owner. If you believe your copyrighted material has been used in this program in a way that does not qualify as fair use, please contact us at preservationoaks@gmail.com. Thank you.